So the first tutorial I did was not really that good, so I'm back with the second version. Um, we're going to be starting off with the checklist, which is mainly this, and then all of the stuff that's not this square right here is just extra added stuff that you can do for a bit more detail. Starting off, you're going to need Assetto Corsa, which if you're making a car for Assetto Corsa, you're probably going to have that. Content Manager, which you're also going to have, very likely. If you don't, the download is linked. Inkscape, which is the majority of the software we're going to be using to make the livery. Any internet browser, which if you're accessing Google Sheet, you're going to have, and Paint.net, which is going to be for the little finishing step. Start with the livery. First, we're going to pick which car we want. For the sake of the tutorial, we're going to be using the Radical SR3. We're going to want to go into the car tab, find the car that we want to do, which is right here. Right click it and then open it in Content tab. And then we're going to want to go into the folder. Go into skins and make a new folder. Name it whatever you want. I'm just going to name it that. And then, for the sake of making it easier once we get to the Inkscape stage, I'm going to right click it and then pin it to quick access. If it doesn't go there, you can just make a new tab in your file browser and it'll be there. So now we want to get to the actual first step, which is getting the map file. To do that, we were going to want to go into the Content Manager showroom. Select the skin that we're going to be editing. Make sure that skin editing mode is checked off. Then we're going to click any part of the body which we will be wanting to get the map for. It'll probably be named, we're going to go to texture diffuse, which will be named, something like car paint, body paint, or usually something similar to that, but it's just whatever texture diffuse is. Click three dots, go into calculate AO. If you don't want the 2048 by 2048, which will be fine for what we need to do, you can calculate a custom size, which is useful for when this is not the default dimensions is rectangular rather than square, because then you'll need to go into custom map and then input the dimensions directly. So I'm going to calculate the AO. I'm going to pause it because it usually takes a bit, and we'll get back when it's done. All right, now we have our map file, which is going to be this one right here. We're going to go to the save icon and go to our skin, and do not save as a DDS, save it as a PNG file. I'm going to save that. And you'll know that it's worked when the color changes from whatever the default is to this white right here. And what we're going to want to do now is open up Inkscape, which might take a bit. I've got a million different things running on my computer right now. We're going to want to select browse for other files. And this is where pinning the thing makes sense. Go to home and scroll all the way to your new livery and open the PNG. And usually you want to pick blocky. Not only does it make it faster, but it also makes doing like precise bits with your livery a bit easier. I usually don't click this because whenever I bring in images for sponsors, usually that's when you want to make it smooth. Now that I have that, now I have this, I'm gonna figure out what our base color wants to be. And it's as easy as making a new layer, which will be above, again, which will be above this, which you want to make sure to lock so that you don't accidentally move it around. And I want to click up here, I want to set the blend mode to multiply. Also make sure to save it as, we're going to do Control Shift S or just go to save as. And then you want to save it as an SVG. What that'll do is, let's say you make an edit. If you save it, or the shortcuts will be Control and S, it'll update it on here so you can double check what you're looking at. So when you want to make the base color, you're just going to go to your snap. I'm going to select nodes, bring the square up here, do that, and then you have your base color. My base color, I'm going to do, I think, a darker gray. See how that looks. Sure, let's just go with that. Now we have base color done. Now we're at color blocking, which is where things get a bit more interesting. If your main color is a darker color, what I usually do is I hide this temporarily just so I can see a bit better. Let's say for a secondary color, we're gonna make it white, but for the sake of making it easier to see, usually I make it a vibrant color like a pure red or like a cyan or a, usually it's a pure red. And we're gonna just do whatever color blocking you want to do. Usually if you want to find the center, you want to go to where something comes at a point, so like right here, and then where there is a point, you kind of scroll down from there, and then make sure you're holding control to snap to certain angles, and then you have the little bit centered right there. You can do whatever you want to do right here. See how that looks. Looks good enough. And if you want to duplicate that to the other side, you want to do the duplicate shortcut, which is Control D. And then you want to do the flip option, which is up here. Or there's a shortcut H. Get these together. And you want to go to Path into Union, which is also Control and Plus. And then you have that. And we can recolor it to the original color we wanted. Then save that. See what it looks like. Looks, again, good enough. I'm gonna make that a bit darker. Cool. Let's just save it at that. One thing with Inkscape that is really monumental is this path thing right here, because it makes doing things a lot easier. Like for example, see if I can find an example on here. Let's say right, you have this, but you want to cut out these little vents right here. What you can do make this, and then select both things that you want, and go to difference, and it'll cut it out. And if we deselect that, we go to save, make sure the background color is transparent. We'll see that where it is transparent, it'll be the carbon texture, or just whatever the base texture is. If you want to change what that base texture is, that will be under detail, which you can change up however you want. And we can see that compared to the bit which I didn't mask out, which is the darker gray. And you can also just experiment with all these path options right here. Super useful. So we got our color blocking done. I have our racing number. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use, which is probably the best thing about having a bunch of liveries, is you can just go to a previous livery that you've done and copy and paste stuff over. I'm just gonna grab this, or it's gonna be copy it and then paste it over here. Just modify it however I want. And then doesn't look good, but that's the good thing about Inkscape, they can just move it around. It doesn't look that good, but we're on a bit of a time budget here. You can also just, if the league that you're racing in has their own specified racing number system, you can just copy and paste it over. This is probably a bit somewhere. It's good enough. I have a racing number, and now we're getting to another little Inkscape trick, which is with it'll be a thing called trace bitmap, which I don't think should be in the default. It'll be this little drop down right here, right there, and then you're gonna want to find any old image online. Let's go with this. Let's say we're sponsored by Domino's Pizza because I'm kind of hungry right now. Find their logo. Let's say you get it and it's like, oh no, it's a fake PNG, or you don't like the colors. You're gonna go through, tweak the threshold value, hit apply. Now you have, it'll be one singular color, but what you can do is you can if you want it to be the multiple colors, you can do the dropper tool, duplicate it, go into the node menu, which will be the shortcut N, or just the node tool, and just delete the bottom bit there, go to this one, delete the top bit here. It's practically the same. But I don't want to do that. I want it to be one color. So what we're gonna do is first thing we're gonna lock this in place because they keep on moving it. And place it right next to our little racing number. I'm gonna just check to see it looks good. Doesn't really, but again, we're on a time crunch. We're just going over the basics. Now we have our race number and our sponsors. Now, when you go to export it, which will also be in this menu right here, notice that you can't save it as a .dds file. So what we're going to do is we're going to unselect, we're going to hide the bottom bit because we have this transparent bit right here. If you don't have any transparent bits, I'd personally keep the map file unhidden. But because we have a little transparent bit, we're going to hide that and then export the PNG. Now we're done with this. So we can go here. We're going to right click body.png and open it with paint.net, which we downloaded earlier. We're going to, if that's transparent, we have all we need. We're going to do Control Shift and S to save as a DDS. Make sure it is a BC7, just whatever, copy whatever settings these are. And then we're done with that bit. If you don't want to do any Chrome, then if you don't want to do any Chrome or missives or anything else that's on the GitHub the GitHubs that are linked here, then all the hard work is basically done. But we also need to go back to this little thing right here. Right click our skin, or select change livery icon, do whatever you want here, and then put whatever number you want there. It's going to be 19. That's my racing number. We're going to right click again and select update preview, which will get this going. Sometimes it'll take a bit, sometimes it'll not take any time at all. Once that's done, you can usually I have to make a copy of this and then delete these two, but I'm not gonna do that right now because if you're racing in a league and you're submitting your livery, I would definitely delete these two on a copy that you made. Some of the no, that's not it. I'm trying to figure out when the last time there we go. You can also just make your own custom livery icons like I did here. Again, you don't really need to do that, but now our livery is technically done. But we got some custom stuff we can do here. If you don't want to do any chrome bits or neon bits that glow, video's done, you can head off. But, and it's a big but, let's say, oh, but I want the racing number to glow. What we can do is we're going to make a new text document. Give it external. I really hope this doesn't end my recording. It didn't. External underscore config dot ini. ini. And then that is where we're going to want to go to this cell on the document. I'm going to copy it, just paste it in there, and the mesh, it will be under name. You can copy that right there. Resolution, I believe, is something I don't remember. 2048 by 2048. And it's going to be channel 1 here, alongside here. And the color we're going to be looking for is going to be a yellow. So we can set it to 1, 1, and 0. There's just going to be the around the same thing here. Set the intensity to 800 for now. I believe that should be it. If we get lucky. Just note any of the config stuff will not show up in Content Manager Showroom. You will need to go into this and start either hot lap or practice session is going to give you the shortest load time. What we can do is we can go over to the intensity, crank that up. Not normally use. You can see that they're currently not activated. So what we're going to want to do is going to want to go back to the text document and mess with, I believe, the threshold. No, we're going to mess with the normalization. Let's just change what we're trying to make glow. We can change the color that we're looking for to be the white. I'm done. Oh, it works. Also note, seeing the reflection that it looks kind of weird. For some reason, whenever you do any emissive stuff, um, it just makes it look like it's damaged. So what you want to do is you want to go to anything that says like body damage or anything of the sort, because this is fine. We're going on to the damage, export it. You can export it as a DDS, that's fine. I'm going to go back to this folder right here. I'm going to open it, and it's going to open up paint.net. Then pick whatever color you see most, which is somewhere around here. Then you'll want to do Control A and hit backspace to fill everything with that one color. And that should make it work. Why the neon isn't working? That's a whole other thing. An example of what the neon should look like is in my most recent livery. Should look like this. And you also notice that the racing number also glows in the dark. If you want to see what the config for this looks like, just looks like this. So for the green, it's this, and then for the racing number, it's this. And then I did also other stuff like I did custom brake lights, and I pitched up the engine a bit. But that's just extra stuff you can figure out through this. So I believe I didn't miss anything super important. Just making a base livery without any of the extra complicated chrome and stuff. If you want a bit more detail on how to do the chrome, that's in the original tutorial. It's not too difficult, and or you can just follow the copy and paste that's in this little Google sheet right here. Without further ado, I'm going to end it. Bye bye.